Alright, so I'm making an update video on the Hurco km3 conversion to Linux CNC. I've made some progress. I've mostly been working on the y-axis, and I'm able to, I got it powered up and I got all of the encoders working, and right now I'm jogging the y-axis back and forth, and it's moving. You can see it moving there. I haven't hooked any of the belts or anything up because of a problem I'm having. I have the end stops, which the X and the Y axis are both the proximity sensors, and then the Z axis are roller switches. This one's the Z axis and the roller switches back here. Those are currently hooked up and they work with the servo drives. So whenever it hits one limit on each end, it'll inhibit that direction, so you can only back it up off the end stop. But I've tracked down, so like this is the X-axis end stop. I follow it through here, and it has, to the red wire, it has 5 volts when it's active to the machine ground in here. Or if I hold my meter across those 2 pins, it's 0 volts, and then when the X-axis read switch is activated, it has 5 volts. So I guess, how do I use that 5 volts to switch to tell my 7i77 that that's an input, that's my end stop? I looked around and I saw some videos and stuff, and I saw where somebody was using these opto isolators. I thought I had it hooked up correctly. I couldn't get it to work right. Maybe I'm not doing it correctly. It was my understanding that because I'm giving this 24 volts of field power, that to read an input, it needs 60% of that power or more. So if I use this opto isolator, I should be able to give it 24 volts as my input, and then it reads a low as like 8 volts maybe. That's kind of where I'm stuck right now. I also am not 100% sure on my encoders. This is all I ended up hooking up to them. This, when I traced it back, they all had their each individual brown wire was the only one that was different, and following it, it seems to be it. And so I gave it an A, a B, and then I hooked up the index, but I don't know if the index is actually doing anything because I haven't got the HAL scope on Linux CNC to work either. So I feel good about it moving around, and before I hooked up the motor, I moved it by hand with the scale, with the encoder, to make sure that the encoder was moving the correct distance, and my indicator told me I was moving the right distance, and it matched my my readout on Linux here. So I feel good about that. I'm just working on getting this going. I do have this one output working, and that output will power on the machine. I need to change some things in here too. I have a couple jumpers going back and forth in here, and I need to wire up more outputs, so I can turn on the machine, and then I can wire up those outputs to also a separate one to turn on the servo, and then I'll have another output to do the spindle and foot cool and stuff, and that can come later. But So I need to do that as well. But that's it for now. Thanks.